Are you an aspiring entrepreneur looking to establish your business identity in Nevada? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Welcome to This Explainer. We know setting up the legal foundation of your business can feel a little daunting, but it really doesn't have to be. Stay tuned because today we're going to discover exactly how registering a doing business as name can set your venture on the path to success. By the time we're done here, you're going to have the step-by-step instructions, insider tips, and the common pitfalls you absolutely need to avoid. All right, let's look at our roadmap for today. We're covering 1. Understanding Nevada DBAs, 2. Preparing to register, 3. Step-by-step registration, 4. Maintaining DBA compliance, and 5. Tips and common mistakes. Let's dive in. Section 1. Understanding Nevada DBAs, the foundation of your business identity. First off, let's get the terminology straight. What you probably know as a DBA, or doing business as, is officially called a fictitious firm name, or FFN, in Nevada. Under Nevada Revised Statute 602.010, you are legally required to file an FFN if you're conducting business under an assumed name that's different from your legal name, or the legal name of your registered LLC or corporation. Basically, you can just think of this as a legal nickname for your business. Now, an FFN isn't just some annoying bureaucratic hoop you've got to jump through. It literally opens practical doors for you. Take banking, for instance. Financial institutions have strict know-your-customer laws. They absolutely will not let you open a business bank account or deposit checks made out to your brand name unless you can legally prove that name belongs to you. Securing your FFN is the key to passing that hurdle. Plus, local municipalities often require this registration before they'll even process your local business license. And if you already have an established LLC, an FFN is a real game changer. It lets you launch multiple new brands, product lines, or storefronts under your existing corporate umbrella without paying the fees to form entirely new LLCs for every single one. For sole proprietors, it's a fantastic way to operate under a catchy brand name and create a professional image, rather than blasting your personal name on every public-facing ad or invoice. Okay, here's a massive point of confusion we need to clear up right now. A county-level fictitious firm name lets you legally use the name, but it doesn't actually give you exclusive rights to it. Technically, someone else in your exact same county could register the exact same FFN. If you want exclusive statewide protection so nobody else in Nevada can legally use your brand, you're also going to need to file for a separate Nevada trade name directly with the Secretary of State. That runs about $100 and requires you to prove you're already using the name in commerce. Moving right along to Section 2, Preparing to Register, Research and Compliance. So to make sure your desired name is actually unique and won't land you in hot water, you need to follow these 3 crucial search steps. First, search your local county clerk's public database. You really don't want local customers confusing you with a competitor down the street. Second, step up to the state level and search Nevada's Silver Flume database to make sure you aren't clashing with an existing LLC, corporation, or trade name. Finally, and this might be the most important one, check the federal USPTO trademark database. Taking the time to do this thorough vetting now saves you from an absolute nightmare later. I mean, imagine spending thousands on custom signage, uniforms, and marketing, only to get a federal cease and desist letter because you accidentally infringed on a trademark. Do the research. It's your best insurance policy. And keep in mind, Nevada takes its naming rules under NRS 602.017 very seriously to protect consumers from being misled. This means you can't just slap LLC, Inc., or Corp onto your DBA name if you haven't actually gone through the formal process of registering that specific entity structure. Adding those suffixes without the real corporate structure behind it, that's a fast track to getting your application rejected. You also can't use names that imply you're a government agency, a bank, or have a tribal affiliation unless you have explicit legal authority to do so. And for the sole proprietors out there, you can't just register your bare name as a DBA. Submitting just Keisha Smith would get rejected by the clerk. But if you add a descriptive word like Keisha Smith Welding or Keisha Smith Consulting, boom, you're perfectly compliant and ready for approval. All right, Section 3, Step-by-Step Registration Process. Time to take action. Please listen up, because this right here is the biggest Nevada quirk that trips up so many new business owners. Unlike a lot of other states, you do not file your DBA centrally with the Nevada Secretary of State. Fictitious firm names are handled exclusively at the local county level. What does that mean for you? It means you must file your paperwork with the county clerk in each and every single county where your business actively operates or has a physical presence. While all 17 of Nevada's counties have their own specific systems, the procedure generally follows these 4 steps. You'll start by visiting your specific county clerk's website to download their unique form. It's usually a pretty straightforward one-page document where you'll fill out your business description, primary address, and owner details. Then, you need to provide original wet ink signatures. I know we live in a world of digital e-signing, but many counties still require an actual pen-to-paper signature for public records. Finally, you submit the form either by walking it into the clerk's office or mailing it in with your fee. If you mail it, double-check that you're sending the exact right amount, or they will send it right back, and that's just going to delay your launch. To give you an idea of how much this varies, check out this comparison. Washoe and Douglas counties strictly require your form to be notarized by a licensed notary public before you submit it. But if you're down in Clark County, home to Vegas, you don't need a notary at all, as long as you bring your ID and sign the form in person right at the clerk's counter. Always check your local rules. And as for the cost, well, while it varies slightly across the state, $25 is the most common initial filing fee you're going to see. Some smaller counties might charge $20, and certified copies might cost a few dollars extra. But overall, it's a remarkably affordable way to legitimize your brand. Section 4, maintaining DBA compliance, keeping your brand active. So you're registered? Awesome. But your responsibilities don't end in year 1. If your business moves to a new physical location, or even if just your mailing address changes, you have to file an address amendment form with your clerk to keep the public records accurate. And, crucially, you've got to gear up for a renewal right at the 5-year mark. Seriously, mark your calendar right now. Most major counties, including Clerk and Washoe, make you renew every 5 years. It's typically another $25 fee and a fresh form with a new original signature. If you forget, it's not just a slap on the wrist. Your registration actually expires, meaning your bank can legally freeze or close your business accounts, and vendors might start questioning your contracts. Don't let it happen to you. Section 5, tips and common mistakes. Let's get you that insider edge. Here is a fantastic pro tip from business formation experts. Get certified copies of your paperwork immediately at the clerk's office on the day you register. Don't just snap a picture with your phone. Almost every commercial bank is going to demand the physical certificate with the official county stamp to open your checking account. A regular photocopy usually won't cut it. Also, if you run a mobile service, like a landscaping crew, plumbers, or consultants working across county lines, be proactive. File your DBA in those neighboring counties before you start taking clients there. It costs a tiny bit more upfront, but it locks down your legal right to that name as you scale up. On the flip side, let's avoid the headaches. Don't skip the notary if your county demands one. But the biggest pitfall? Do not assume a DBA changes your tax status or gives you personal liability protection. This is a massive misconception. An FFN is just an alias. It's not a separate legal entity like an LLC, and it does not create a corporate veil to protect your personal assets. From a tax perspective, absolutely nothing changes. You'll still use your existing EIN if you have an LLC or your social security number if you're sole proprietor. The IRS doesn't care about your DBA. They only care about the underlying legal entity. Section 6, conclusion. Your entrepreneurial roadmap is officially complete. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder. This explainer provides a general overview and is intended for informational purposes only. It does not constitute legal, business, or tax advice. For specific advice tailored to your unique situation, please always consult a professional advisor. We love breaking this down for you, but the pros know best for your specific case. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with any questions you might still have. And hey, tell us, what incredible, catchy name are you planning to register for your Nevada business today? Get out there, take action, and build something amazing. See you next time.